Have you ever heard yourself say, "That's just who I am"? And the moment you say it, you realize that something shuts. A door closes, a path disappears, not because you can't change, but because you've decided you don't have to try. On this season of Must I Evolve, I've been talking about invisible cages that we construct. And today, I'm talking about the invisible cage of a fixed identity, what that means, and ways that we can retrain our thinking to free ourselves from that invisible cage. Welcome to Must I Evolve, a microlearning experience where ancient wisdom meets the modern soul. I'm Andrew H. Housley, author, spiritual provocateur, and bodhisattva, doing my best to walk the middle path. This space, it's for the seeker, the skeptics, and those who feel the quiet pull for something deeper. Each episode is an opportunity, short, potent, and quietly disruptive. We explore Zen thought, spiritual lessons, personal transformation, and the subtle truths that shape us. Sometimes they appear as a question, sometimes a gentle nudge. Let's begin. A label starts as a shortcut. Something along the lines of, I'm the responsible one. I'm the anxious one. I'm not a math person. I'm the funny one. I'm just not consistent. At first, a label can feel like a relief. It just explains me. It's a simplified version of me. Because uncertainty is uncomfortable, and a label gives you a story, and stories give you a sense of control. But quietly, the label starts to do more than describe you, it starts to decide for you. And the most dangerous labels aren't the harsh ones, they're the ones that sound harmless. Again, this is just who I am. Sounds harmless, but that sentence can become an invisible cage because it ends the conversation with your own potential. Most identity labels form in three simple ways. One, repetition. You do something a few times, and your mind turns it into a permanent description. Two, someone names you, and you start living like that name is truth. Three, protection. A label becomes a shield. If you say, I'm not the disciplined type, you never have to take the awkward risk of an early stage of becoming more disciplined. You just dipped out of the whole thing. So the cage isn't made of metal, it's made of a story you stopped questioning. Here's where Zen gives us a potential anecdote to deal with this. It's simply called the beginner's mind. A beginner's mind isn't pretend you don't have a past, it's simple. Don't let the past decide the present. It's the willingness to be teachable again, to make space for something new. Much like a child, and we think of things, if a child sees a sunset for the first time, he's in awe, or sees a horse, or experiences something for the first time. It gives you that opportunity to show up and be present in the experience. That's what the beginner's mind is. It's our opportunity to show up unjaded. As we get older, we create experiences, and those experiences seem to create truths and expectations. But if we can strip all of that away and get back to a beginner's mind, a child's mind, we can liberate ourselves, or we can start to break down these invisible cages. There's a Zen koan, well known, about a cup of tea. A university professor visits a Zen master to learn more about Zen. The master invites him inside. The professor talks and talks about his ideas, his theories, his education, his conclusions. The master listens quietly, offers the professor a cup of tea, begins to pour the professor tea into his cup, and the master fills it over the top but keeps pouring. The tea spills over the rim and onto the table. Finally, the professor blurts out, "It's over full, no more will go in." And the master says, in essence, your mind is like a cup, it's already full. If it's already full, nothing new can enter. I cannot teach you anything else. And here's the whole point for us: a fixed identity becomes a full cup. When you walk into life holding a cup labeled, "I am anxious," or "I'm not consistent," or "I'm just like this," you may still want to grow, but there's no room for growth if you've already decided this is how it's going to be. The beginner's mind is simply the willingness to set the cup down and say, maybe I don't know the whole story about me yet. So we can start to learn to reframe from identity to experience. Here's the practice that makes space for that. Stop turning experiences into identities. Instead of saying I'm anxious, try anxiety is here. Instead of I'm a procrastinator, try avoidance is here. Or I'm avoiding something right now. Instead of I'm bad at relationships, try I'm learning how to communicate. This isn't wordplay. It's freedom, because a label feels permanent, but experience is something that you can work with. You're not rejecting yourself. You're just refusing to turn today into a life sentence. So a micro exercise that we can use here is pick one label you've been living with. Write it down. I am fill in the blank. Now ask yourself 3 things. When did I start believing this? What does this label excuse me from trying? What is one small action I would take today if I held it lightly? Just one action. Not a new personality, not a complete makeover. One step that proves the cage door isn't locked. Here's what I want you to carry with you. Fixed identity is one of the strongest invisible cages because it feels like truth. Not a cage, a fact. But most facts we say about ourselves are really just old sentences we keep repeating. And once you repeat them long enough and often enough, you stop noticing them and just keep repeating them. That's the cage. Not the bars on the outside, a rule on the inside. A beginner's mind is how you walk out. Not by fighting who you are, not by reinventing yourself overnight, but by making space, by emptying the cup just a little bit so life can pour something new inside of you. So when the label shows up, try this. Don't argue with it. Don't obey it. Just name it lightly. A story is here. A habit is here. A feeling is here. And then take one small action that doesn't match the cage. Say something like, I can honor who I've been without handcuffing who I've become. My identity is not a cage. It's a conversation. Thanks for listening to Must I Evolve? Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be patient. That's the real practice. As for your next evolution, it doesn't live in who you should become. It lives in what already grows within you. Until next time, keep evolving, quietly, consistently, and always with no expectations.